Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to Coping with Life. I am your host, Scott. Hello. I hope you're doing well. And if you are not mentally sound, if you are not mentally available, if you are struggling, know that you matter. Know that people care about you. Know that that's okay. You're not broken. You're not wrong. It's okay. Even if it's not okay, it's okay, and I will tell you why right now. Because you are who you are. And the ups, the downs, the happiness to the sadness, the way of life. It's okay if, you know what, you don't want to talkie or, sadness, depression. That's okay. Me being able to say, I'm not okay. You know what? That's okay. And for people who don't understand, either for the person, and try to cheer people up because, life is hard in itself. Find reasons to lift people up, find reasons to make people smile. And that's it, and the words, and that's okay. And this week has been kind of tough on me. I've been through a lot. And sometimes I feel like I'm a failure. Sometimes I feel like I fail on a lot of levels. And it weighs me down. It's heavy. And just the notion that I can explain words of why I kind of feel that way, because sometimes it's small and I can work it out, but sometimes stress builds, stress stacks, and stress is very hard to deal with for myself. And so I've been mentioning that I need to clean. I'm going to be ending this episode pretty soon. Hopefully. I'm going to continue cleaning. I did not get to finish because I got overwhelmed, and so now I've just been taking it a little bit at a time, and but it's the final push, and I believe in myself. I believe I'm now going to just focus, and that's what I'm going to do. But feeling like a failure, if done right, could be a positive thing. if done right. Keywords. One reason why because I'm just talking about my personal experiences, but when I've tended to feel like a failure and my life is crumbling around me, I have to adapt to my situation, and I use that to improve, to become a better person, do a lot of things. You can turn that as a drive for motivation. And it's not applicable for everything. And it can be something small. So I play video games. Failure happens a lot in certain types of video games. The game over screen, you may have miscalculated a jump or whatever it may be. And so, in my experience, sometimes I've backed myself into a corner because I tend to rush games. Not as I've gotten older, because I really don't play as much as I used to. But the big thing that I'm proud of is when you can overcome your failures, beat the boss, complete the level, whatever it may be. You should be proud of yourself. And you can move that up a scale, and, try your best. And that's all that I do, is I do my best, and sometimes I feel like that's not enough. Sometimes I feel like I'm a failure. And that's okay. And sometimes that doesn't. I'm not able to spin it positive. Sometimes it just stacks on depression, and it weighs somebody down. Now, hopefully, my current bout of feeling like a failure goes away. And I for somebody who's been through it a time or two, sometimes I can battle through it, sometimes I can't. However, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to do it, because it's just one of those things where I know where this is coming from, but I'm me, and I will get through it. And definitely let y'all know how it turns out. But yeah, I do. That is a constant thought of mine. And it comes in many different shapes and many different shapes. I've mentioned it on my podcast before. And one of the things that my brain likes to tell me that is another word for you are a failure. Is you don't deserve nice things. You don't deserve good things. Nothing's good ever gonna happen to you. All these negative thoughts, and they stack. And that's hard. That's a hard, bitter pill to swallow. And sometimes you have to get through it. You have to jump the hurdles. And I'm gonna be honest, I would love to come back and talk about this in more details. But right now I'm going through the negative, and sometimes I do use it as motivation. And that's what I'm going to do. And right after I'm done with this episode, I'm going to go back cleaning. I got my music. I'm actually excited because I've took the last day and this is what I'm gonna do, and it's happening. And so when I put my mind to something, and it's like, yep, this is happening, and the determination that I have, I do it. And so I don't want to be a failure. I like to succeed. I deserve good things. Does the world want me to have good things? No. But I think so. But at the same time, those thoughts, they permeate my brainwaves. They are there. They happen a lot, and it can derive from many different things, and some are out of my control. But knowing how to overcome them obstacles, what I'm going through, the last 2 weeks, a perfect example. I'm currently going through this. I'm coping with life. So last week I was like, yeah, I can get this done by Monday, maybe Wednesday. My health tanked, and it was really hard for me to do anything, and I just couldn't, and it, but now it has to be done. So I'm gonna work as hard as I can to get it done. And I think sometimes being, and I do like cleaning. Not always, but I do have my days. And it's not just cleaning, it's me wanting to rearrange everything. And that is something that I really want to do. Because I could make it work in the current layout, but I'm stubborn. I want to rearrange things to freshen things up, so that's what I'm gonna do. So until next week. And I think I want to go more in depth on this, but in different ways. Again, I don't know. But I want to use failure as being a positive. Spin it to drive somebody. Failure driving somebody to success. I don't recommend you trying to motivate people by calling them a failure. I'd be calling you a terrible person if you did that. I don't like telling people they're terrible people. But for me, in some instances, like I know this may be weird, and I had a track mind to say. So I compared video games, and you fail. So I am now considering, and I do. I like to do things because I like video games. So now, cleaning my apartment, rearranging everything, it's a level 1 video game. Of, you know what? You have a time limit. Certain things need to be done in a certain time. Now I need to just, moment of zen, just, everything's gonna be okay. Everything's alright. One step at a time. And complete it. Do it right the first time, which is something that I've always had an issue with, but you have to do it right the first time. And so that's what I'm going to do. Another short episode. I love you all. I do. I care about each and every one of you. I want to grow this podcast. And I want to do a lot of things. And what I'm currently going through, and this is something that I'm really grateful for me being able to open up, especially talk about failure, because failure, that is one of the stresses, one of the things that permeate my brain a lot. Because when people tell me I'm a failure, when I try and have a conversation and somebody wants me to repeat myself, or when I didn't care and I didn't care listening to you, or I'm having a hard time hearing you, whatever it may be, I consider myself a failure. Or if I say something and somebody interrupts me, I consider myself a failure. And I have to deal with that. Or when people just outright say to me that I will admit to nothing, I'm a terrible person, things that are not true. They weigh heavy on somebody who is going through a surplus of stress, a surplus of heaviness. And those type of things should never be told to somebody. Because you're not a failure, and I'm not a failure. You have to find your happy. You have to find what motivates you. And last night I'm like, you know what? I said this, and I'm like, you know what? I need to do this. And so now I need to do things that make it fun for me, to motivate me. And it's Saturday, and I do like many Saturdays. So I'm recording this podcast. I'm sitting down, and I'm looking around my apartment. It's like, okay, I'm already, hyping myself up. It's like, okay, I know exactly where I want to tackle first to get ready to go. It's like, this table's going to go, actually it's going to go behind me. So I'm going to make it a little fun, and I will let you know next week. I might have a good episode next week. I don't know. But so that's going to be how I do this, and y'all know next week how it will turn out, hopefully. But please enjoy your Saturday. You're not a failure. And if somebody tells you you're a failure, I'm sorry. Because you're not. You're doing the best you can. I believe in you. I care about you. I care about everybody. I love you all. Please be safe. Please take care of yourself. Me, I'm gonna go clean. That's what I'm gonna do. I got some sleep. And now I'm gonna turn my apartment into a video game. One step at a time. And the prize at the end is me sleeping. That is my prize. Alright. Love you all. Thank you so much for being amazing people. I'm coping with life, and I'm currently coping with life. Disabled and mentally ill. And positivity. Now, just have to act. Finding motivation, finding things to fun, and feeling overwhelmed. And so, thank you so much for being a part of the Coping with Life universe. Until next week, enjoy your Saturday. Even if it's a Wednesday, it is Saturday. Tell the people in your life you love them. Tell people in your life you care about them. Because you never know when they're gone. Lift the people up in your life. And if you haven't talked to somebody you cared about in a while, tell them you love them. Be safe, everybody. I bid you all adieu.